Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Kabir Considers. In this video, I'm going to react to a guy who made $1 million shot and they didn't want to pay him. Like, I would be so angry because I'm sure that there was like many people who applied to be the person to take this shot, or I think sometimes they choose them at random, like it's just a random person in the arena at the time. Let's say there's 30,000 people in the arena. So you've got a 1 in 30,000 chance of getting picked. And then the shot is usually a full court shot or a half court shot, you know, something quite difficult to achieve. You then get it, you make the shot, everyone celebrates with you, and then they try not to pay you. Oh my God. Oh my God. I would be furious. I would take them to court probably. Hopefully this guy did, because at the end of the day, if they tell you if you make the shot, you're going to get $1 million, they should honor that if you make the shot, right? So I'm quite eager to see what goes down here. If the guy was successful in getting his money, which I hope he was, should be a fun video. By the way, guys, if you enjoy the channel, please help me out by liking and subscribing. It really does help out. And also, if you want to check out the Patreon for loads of exclusive content, let's do it.
You see this guy right here? This is Don Calhoun. He's a big Bulls fan, and he's about to do something that will change his entire life.
So it's a full court shot. And he sinks it. He sinks it.
$1 million? That young man being hugged has just won $1 million here at Chicago Stadium.
Don just hit a shot from 80 feet out, a 3/4 court shot. His prize for nailing this absolute bomb, $1 million. He can't believe it. Fans erupt. Don joins the Bulls as they celebrate his victory. Michael Jordan throws his arm around Don and congratulates him.
Well
Good
done,
shot,
man.
kid. Don had just done the impossible, and with the game ball in one hand, $1 million check in the other, Don Calhoun did it. He was set. Except he wasn't. Due to a technicality in the rules of this contest, the insurance company that was required to make the payoff claimed they simply didn't have to pay the man.
Wow.
Don hit $1 million shot for absolutely nothing.
No, man, I'm sorry. Forget it. I'm taking you to court. See you in court, partner. What?
Today's video is sponsored by SeatGeek. My brothers, summer is finally here, and with $1 million on the line, do you think you could sink a three-pointer? Pretty incredible consolation for one simple shot, but no one in their right mind would ever offer such a prize for making a single three-pointer.
Yeah.
Except they did. Back in the 90s, during NBA All-Star Weekend,
It's a lot, because usually I see 75,000. Like the guy who made the shot at the Miami Heat when LeBron hugged him, that was for like 75 grand. That's a lot of money still.
League and a sponsoring company such as Foot Locker, American Express, Sony would host a contest for fans, the NBA's $1 million shot. It was one of the most anticipated side events of the entire weekend, and out of the millions of fans who entered to win a shot, only one would be chosen to take it. Get selected, make a three-pointer, win $1 million. An opportunity of a lifetime for 4 lucky contestants that were selected over the 4 years that the NBA hosted the contest. And to aid them in their quest for $1 million shot, each contestant was joined by a former or active NBA player to give them pointers and advice. In 1996, among the 6 million entries, 17-year-old Demetrius Houston was selected to take the $1 million shot. With George Gervin by his side and 17,000 fans looking on, Demetrius lines up his shot. And with $1 million on the line,
He misses, doesn't he?
he clanks it off the backboard. Gervin tells the kid not to worry about it, but I'm sure he did. In 1997,
Oh, don't worry about it. You just lost $1 million, but don't worry about it.
a man named Jim Valente was selected to take the $1 million shot. His host and mentor for the event, NBA legend Oscar Robertson, a man who literally never made a three-pointer in his entire NBA career. But Jim was focused. It was his wife's birthday, and what better birthday gift than $1 million check? So Jim steps up to the line. He's ready. The ways in which he'll spend $1 million already racing through his mind. I'll get that Corvette I've always wanted. That sure look good in a Rolex. We could really use a new deck out back. Maybe I'll get a boat. Or maybe you'll get nothing.
Just a few inches in the other direction.
After the shot, Craig Sager asked Jim about his experience. $1 million. gone. What went wrong, Jim? Give us some insight.
How did you feel at the time? What went wrong?
I think I just pushed it a little to the right.
I mean, he's not wrong. He's not wrong, is he?
In 1998, a contestant named Sol Holkman was selected to take the shot. And for the first time in the contest history, a contestant actually hit the rim. Another year, another $1 million miss. But of all these $1 million shot events, none managed to top the one that started it all in 1995. The contestant that was chosen, 16-year-old Mike Hoban. For weeks leading up to the contest, Mike...
If he makes this shot, you know, $1 million back then is probably worth, what, 2 or 3 million today? He's set, like, easy mode.
Spent 2 hours a day, every day, shooting three-pointers. Accompanied by all-star Dan Marley, Mike was locked in. Going through the most meticulous shooting routine you'll ever see in your life, Mike prepares his shot by, quote, becoming one with the basket. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if he pulled a microscope out and studied the hoop to better his odds. Now he's taking phantom shots. His routine is becoming more unhinged by the second, but it works for him. Friends and family look on, watching him live on TV, ready to witness history unfold. Mike is ready. He lines up the shot.
Come on,
he shoots.
Come on, kid. Oh, it's short. It's short.
And misses the rim by 2 feet. An air ball.
Oh, God. Disappointment.
The poor kid is devastated. Friends and family are stunned. All the while, the commentator of the event doing his best to help, but instead just pours on a slew of more disappointment in the process.
So young Mike Hoban has missed his shot at $1 million. The good news is, though, he doesn't win money, doesn't become a pro, and his college scholarship hopes stay alive. He'll go back to be the post-up player for his junior varsity team.
After the shot, Sager interviews the kid.
Just let him go home. Why'd you need to interview him? Like, just let him go home.
Where he has the bright idea of just asking for one more shot.
I wasn't really in that zone I wanted to be in, but, you know, one more shot.
You would like one more shot, wouldn't you?
Man, I would love another shot.
You'd like one more shot, wouldn't you? Mike never got another shot. 4 contestants, $1 million on the line for 1 three-pointer and 0 winners. And looking back on these contests, it's pretty remarkable that no one hit their $1 million shot. Because countless fans and contestants have hit much more difficult shots for far less money. We've all seen these contests unfold in person. A fan gets randomly chosen out of the stands to come down and try to hit a half-court shot. The prize money, nowhere near $1 million. Usually the prize is $10,000 or maybe $20,000 or a car. This Mavericks fan hit a layup, a free throw, a three-pointer, and a half-court shot in sequence without missing. An anomaly of events in this contest.
How much did they give him?
His reward for the incredible feat, $3,000 worth of gift cards to a local furniture store.
Jesus. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, it's still a nice gift. But come on, Mavericks. You could have given him... Maybe round it up to 10?
But it gets worse, because at a Mavs game a few years later, this woman was put to the task of sinking a half-court shot. She's rocking the dirt gear, she's feeling good, beautiful form, and drills the shot.
Ooh.
Nothing but net. What was her prize for pulling this off, you ask? A 65-inch flat-screen TV.
Bruh. Again, it's a nice gift, but come on, guys. Spend a little more. Spend a little bit more.
Absolutely appalling. This guy managed to drill a half-court shot at a Blazers game years ago and won round-trip tickets to anywhere of his choice. A pretty unlikely shot from the guy, but far from impossible. What is impossible, however, is the fact that another fan hit the same exact shot 30 seconds later.
Wow.
It's clear that some people actually make these shots. So what would happen if someone actually did hit a $1 million shot? What if instead of shelling out some gift cards or a flat screen TV, a team had to actually hand over a 7-figure check to one lucky fan?
I just don't know why you would advertise it if you've got no intention.
It's April 14th, 1993. The Bulls are facing the Heat in Chicago. The Bulls are on a roll coming into the matchup on a 3-game win streak. By halftime, Chicago is up by 14. Jordan is killing the Heat, 22 points in the first half. It's a great time for home fans as usual. But the real spectacle is about to take place. Throughout the '93 season, the Bulls hosted a promotion for their fans. Among the 18,000 fans in attendance for any given home game, one lucky individual would be chosen to shoot a 3/4 court shot to win $1 million. At the time, and to this day even, $1 million cash prize for such an event is unheard of. But the odds of such a shot going in are so astronomically unlikely that the Bulls and the insurance company that would be responsible for paying out the prize money felt comfortable running the event anyways. Leading up to that Heat matchup, 19 lucky fans had attempted the halftime $1 million shot. Of the 19, 2 hit the backboard, 16 were air balls, and just 1 even hit the rim. An estimate of a fan chosen at random hitting this shot? Less than 1%. And so a member of the Bulls organization went into the crowd and selected a 23-year-old local by the name of Don Calhoun. The reason for selecting him? His shoes wouldn't scuff up the floor. Hopeful, but understanding the slim odds that he faced, Don walked down to the court and prepared to take his shot. A fun halftime gimmick, something to keep the fans involved.
I can't wait to hear what technicality the insurance company used to not have to pay this man, because I just don't get it. Like, unless he was beyond the line, I'm guessing that was it. He was beyond the 3/4 line.
They just slapped $1 million on there to get everyone excited, but no one will ever hit the shot anyways. Chris Hammond, vice president of SCA Promotions, a leader in the promotional contest industry, looks back on the shot saying, "The perfect contest is like the most tempting carnival game. Just feasible enough to make people think they can do it while actually being extremely difficult. You could have Steph Curry out there and still make money." Well, Mr. Hammond, it's time to pay up.
Just knowing what's gonna happen. Oh
That young
god.
man being hugged has just won
pay him his
$1
money.
million here at Chicago Stadium. And for Don Calhoun of Bloomington, Illinois,
I really hope he
In
gets
what
his
is
money.
possibly the most inconceivable occurrence to ever happen on an NBA court, Don Calhoun drilled an 80-foot shot for $1 million. The whole place goes nuts. For a moment, it's like Don is part of this Bulls team and they just won another championship. Even the ref of the game comes over to congratulate him. The man just did the impossible. $1 million. That's more than half the guys on this roster made that year. And with the job
salaries back then, man, compared to salaries now, different world.
complete, Don heads over to snap a photo with the check in one hand and the game ball in the other. He did it. At least that's what he thought. See, these promotions are combed through meticulously by some of the best lawyers money can buy. The rules and restrictions are tight. Break one of them and you can kiss those winnings
What did he
goodbye.
break? Tell
Don
us.
Calhoun broke one of the rules.
He crossed the
Not
line,
intentionally
didn't
or anything, but among the stipulations of this promotion, one of them states that the contestant could not have played organized basketball within 5 years of the contest.
What? No. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. So basically, he was doomed from the get-go. The person who picked the person who took the shot, he should be blamed for this. Like, it's not fair. Like, he was never going to get the money then, according to the contract.
And just 3 years prior to this contest, Don was a member of the Triton community basketball team. The contest people knew this. Don acknowledged this by marking the information on the contest form. But the contest people shrugged it off and gave him the shot anyways.
They
The
are
insurance people,
responsible.
however, did not. To them, it was a clear breach of the rules. Don should have never been selected in the first place.
Nah,
and
it's
so
not
the
fair.
insurance company of the event disqualified Don out of his shot
Take them to
and out
court.
of his $1 million. When news broke that the now local legend would not be receiving his money, fans were livid. As reports on the event grew, fan outrage grew with it. And within a week, the Bulls organization was under so much local pressure that they held a press conference announcing that they actually had a change of heart and they would pay up. A very strange and inexplicable decision considering their stance just a few days prior. Don's $1 million split into 20 payments over the next 20 years. His first check for $50,000.
I mean, yeah, it's not $1 million up front, but still, 50 grand for the next 20 years is Very, 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 very good. You know, basically takes care of him for the next 20 years, essentially.
Was sent out that week. Technically, rules were broken, but Don was getting paid, and he had no idea how or why. A year after his miraculous shot, Don heard that Michael Jordan would be in the area for one of his son's basketball games. A perfect opportunity for Don to get his $1 million game ball signed. So Don pulled up to the game in search of Michael, but with security flocking the NBA star, no fans were getting anywhere near him. But Don wasn't just an ordinary fan. He's the guy who hit the $1 million shot. Jordan recognized him in the stands and had security bring him over after the game. And with his ball in hand, hoping to get an autograph, Don approached Michael. But MJ didn't call him over to give him an autograph. Instead, he had to ask Don a question. Did you get your money? A year after the Bulls had their change of heart and decided to pay him his money, Don finally got an answer why. Turns out the insurance company wasn't the one who paid Don. They never intended to. After hearing about what the insurance company was trying to pull, Michael Jordan, along with other players on the Bulls, told ownership they needed to pay up. And
Bravo. Bravo. Brilliant. It's kind of what's going on with the writer's strike in Hollywood. Now that the actors are striking as well, we're finally seeing a bit of, movement in the area. This is great stuff from Michael and the team.
And so the organization did, out of their own pockets. Legally, the parties involved were within their rights to void the payments altogether, but Michael felt like what they were doing wasn't right. And so he made it right. If it wasn't for Michael approaching ownership and demanding they pay Don his money, he would have never seen a cent of that $1 million. So turns out that even if it was for a brief moment, Don Calhoun was a part of the Bulls. Seeking nothing in return, Michael and the rest of the players looked out for Don. Oh, and that autograph Don wanted, a couple weeks later, he got that too. So what happens if someone actually makes one of those inconceivable $1 million shots? Well, one way or another, they get paid.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Brilliant video. Had to take my hat off to the creator. Really, really good job. Like, I can't believe that they tried to use that kind of stipulation to not pay him. It's for me, the blame lies on the person who chose him. Because what's the point? If you told me that no matter what, you're not going to pay me, I'm not going to bother making the shot, because it's just a waste of time. He had to, if not for Michael, and the other Bulls team, there's no way he would have got that money. There's no way. I'm sure the Bulls organization may have offered him some complimentary tickets to a game or something like that. But $1 million, there's no chance he would have got that. I'd take off my hat to Michael and the other Bulls because they really, really came through for that guy. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.